What's happening, everybody? Welcome from Music City. It is Guitar Corner, Volume 12. We are going to talk about things that you're technically not supposed to do, or just trying things that maybe you might fall flat on your face, but it's still worth a shot at trying to get to something different. And we're going to talk about what's in a name. We're going to talk about gear for a second too. Chief Justice gave me a great idea to chat with y'all about. But let's always start in the middle, start in the center. We'll start with some music. If you saw video number 5 on the ticky tickies, the little triplet delays. Video number a couple after that, it was about harmonics. I was doing a lousy job tapping for you, but I got it a little bit better now. We're just basically playing these an octave. We started, the first video was dyads. We're just an octave up tapping those. But here's the thing that is fun and crazy live. I may have to start. I don't see if I have to stand up for this. Take a little drumstick, because I started out on drums. I want to be Peter Criss before I wanted to be Gene Simmons on bass, and then I eventually, of course, just wanted to be Paul Stanley and Ace Frehley. So here we are. Check it. Same thing. Now let's tap some harmonics. 2, 3, 4. Buddy, I shouldn't even be flipping sticks. Kelsey Cook put them things on fire and flip them all around. Last one, and if Stoney ever sees this, he's gonna kill me. Stoney saw more of our shows in the bars and dives and bowling alleys of America than anybody in the world. Gotta do this one too. Last one, Ketis man, here we go. Play the guitar like a bass. Who would give me a good one? Well, that was fun and ridiculous. Folks, try anything. It doesn't matter. Speaking of that, I've just emailed my friend Steve Winogradzki a couple weeks back about this, and then Chief texted me. This is a couple of you who've been so kind following this thing. Chief said, what's in a name? And I was just telling Steve this, almost the same thing, that folks, so we play a lot of high schools. We get to go around jamming and talking about financial literacy, and I meet a lot of kids who, man, saving up for their first guitar is a difficult thing. It was the same way for my mama back in the day to get my first guitar. I love fancy guitars. I got my goofy, illustrated directory guitars. We saw the ridiculous Tom Bukovac play at 3rd and Lindsley the other night. Jeff Anderson got us tickets. Jeff is the kindest, most incredible songwriter, just wonderful. Tom Bukovac may be the baddest dude that's ever lived. He could play in any style perfectly. He's been on a million records. He seems like the kindest human being. He had a guitar that Jeff said might have been, it was like a 58 Les Paul, it might have been $200,000. I mean, he was just telling me that it was just, ridiculous. But folks, Tom Bukovac could play on your carburetor of your car, and probably he put a string across it and make something happen. Actually, I remember that movie, It Might Get Loud. It was Jack White, Jimmy Page, and The Edge. It was like 3 generations of groundbreaking, incredible guitar players. That movie opens with Jack White putting one string on like an old cigar box or something and playing this just playing across it with a slide, and it sounds killer. It's not the gear. I watched a documentary once or something on television. It was like Steven Seagal showing off his guitar collection. man, it costs more than the mortgage on the house here. But no offense, Stevie, don't give me no hard to kill. Don't hit me, but that dude's not playing anything. So, you know, if you got the money and you're investing guitars and that's your thing, you love showing off, man, I'm not trying to knock you, but there's some bad dudes out there that they'll get on anything. So I just, what I told Steve was, you know, we're talking about having like another guitar to be in a different tuning and having something that's just kicking around. If I had the choice to like buy a really nice guitar or two mediocre guitars, as long as they did different things, I would get the two mediocre guitars. And I just say that because as beautiful as it is when gear is crafted and when it works well, and there's nothing better, but it's just having different options. And sometime I'll show you a quick video in my studio. I got the wall of shame. It looks like a freaking guitar store. I bought all the little hooks, and they're all in different tunings. They all do different things, and they've all been used on a lot of different tracks, live and for film and TV and stuff. So it's really fun when I buy a guitar that is supposed to be garbage, and it does something. It gives me a song. It speaks to me a little bit, and then I hear it back. Lucky enough to have a bunch of stuff out there on film and TV and video games, and some of my junkiest guitars have got me the best licenses. So let me give you a couple examples of cheap. This one ain't that cheap. It's probably $700. I bought this used Tele. Let me give you some examples. I actually don't own a real Les Paul. I should. It was one of my first guitars when I was starting out, but this was an Epiphone from Sweetwater. It was like $500-600. I did a bunch of music for MLB and stuff that was used in sports, and that was all on this thing through a Sans amp directly into Logic. It worked out great. Let me show you a couple more examples. I got them strewn around today, folks. I think I used this on number 2 or 3 of the Guitar Corner, the Requinto. This is real soft, but if I had it plugged in or if you put a mic on it in the studio, it sounds incredible. I got this at Nashville New and Used Music and here in Nashville. I guess you knew that from the title. This thing's $300. You can hear my rings destroying it. That's another, when I go to guitar, if I go to a guitar store to buy something, I have to take these off. But that's another thing. I don't have to worry about destroying these guitars because I'm never gonna get rid of them, and they didn't cost that much money. If I get some kids running around someday, they'll be like, man, why did you left me nothing? You junked it all up. This was the Jim Wilcox replaced this Chet for me. I'm burning a hole through that. It just doesn't matter. I think we got that for $600. They're worth a couple thousand now, but it just doesn't make sense for me to buy a really nice brand new guitar because I want to play it. One of you suckers is going to spill beer on it at a bar, and that's fine. But yeah, the Requinto's on a bunch of stuff. One last example, and I was really inspired. One of these times I'm going to do a thing like the genius of Tom Morello, because there's somebody, he's not like a virtuoso guitar player, but in some ways he is the most virtuoso guitar player because he's more like, and he said this, he's like, I'm the DJ for the band. He comes up with so many incredible sounds that nobody's ever heard. It just takes the guitar into another place. But the thing about that guy, he writes riffs. My manager Ryan Romanesco, I just watched this thing. It's an awesome documentary. If you like rock and metal, which we get into plenty of that here, it's a Headbanger's Journey. It's called Metal: A Headbanger's Journey, and it talked about Black Sabbath probably being the original metal band. There was a few, but they, like them and Zeppelin, every riff, some version of it they've done. Well, Tom Morello gave us another third of those. And what he said was he has an acoustic guitar that he will just kick around and whatever riff, just make up a riff. This guitar was $50. I bought it so I could throw it in the back of the van when we were touring, and I put stickers on it and screw around and just have a good time with it. But it's really fun to work up songs on something with no pressure. I mean, if I'm rolling around and I run this into this, or I hit this, or I remember I got to take this down to a songwriters convention, this thing down in Tulum, Mexico, where I got to write with some amazing people, and I would just throw this in the airplanes, just right up in the cargo, and people wanted to kill me running around like look, I've got my guitar out of my case. But it's a no pressure situation. So again, if you cobble together an extra $100, I think having a kick around guitar, you can leave it in a weird tuning. I have a couple that are in slide tuning, so I can grab those at any time. All these guitars do a little bit different things. So again, what's in the name? Nothing wrong with nice gear, but folks, you could do a lot with a little if you keep that hope and keep practicing. And as Billy Driver and I used to say, Keep on trucking. Billy used to also say, you lie in your breast stank. On that note, I love y'all. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next in a few days. Okay, bye.